Well, hello, my friends. Well, this afternoon I started doing some preliminary voltage checks. This was the day I'm going to start applying power. And I did just that. I figured out which one of these connections are for what voltages to go to what respective plate within the set. But more importantly, I figured out this switch that's beneath here. In fact, if one looks over at the RF switch over here, one could see how elaborate that switch is and all the wires connected to it. Imagine the identical switch, but populated with wires even more buried down beneath in here. It's a menagerie of wires to that switch. And I truthfully wasn't certain initially what that switch was doing. I had an idea, but anyway, I was able to deduce it for sure. Let's back up. When this set was built, of course, batteries were the rage, and battery consumption was always a concern. And that's where that switch comes in. It took me a moment to figure out the stop position or off position because the switch doesn't really have a steady detent or a real good detent for off. Once I figured the off position, I got it to where you go to position 1 and it provides filament voltage to your first tube. Go to position 2, provides filament to your first 2 tubes. Go to position 3, provides filament to all 3 of your tubes. But even further yet, one does not apply 90 volts to this third tube until one is selected to the third position on that rotary switch. So that switch selects your filament as well as your 90 volts B plus to your third tube. Truthfully, I don't know why they chose to kill power to that tube at the 90 volt output stage, because once one kills filament, the tube doesn't draw any current. So there really was no need to drop the 90 volts from that tube, but of course they didn't ask me. They had, I'd have told them don't worry about it. But anyway, with that said, of course, I had to clean all those contacts within there. There's a plethora of contacts, as one can imagine. So I cleaned all those up. Everything in the audio stage right now, voltage-wise, looks to be what I would anticipate. I've got my plate voltages, and I've got my filament voltages accordingly. For a moment there, I thought these what are they called? Allen Bradley rheostats I thought were maybe faulted, but they're seem to be working just fine. So that was a relief. So with that said, we are getting very, very close. So as they say in the service, stand fast and we will talk again.